Good afternoon, everyone. This is Robin Carter with Robin's Creations, and I'm out of Flower Mound, Texas. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today to share with you some alternates with the Ho 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 Paper Pumpkin Kit by Stampin' Up! For the October 2022 kit. So as I mentioned in my first unboxing video, I thought I would make some gift card and or gift tags with this kit. I already have my Christmas cards made for this year, so I thought I could use these to make some gift tags and gift card holders. So I know the next month's kit, which you don't want to miss, is the November 2022 Paper Pumpkin Kit, and it's named From the North Pole. It was meant to coordinate with this kit, or at least it does coordinate with this kit, and it is intended to make some gift tags. So who knows, I may make cards out of that kit instead, but don't miss the deadline for this, which is November 10th. If you are not already subscribed or have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I will have a link in the description box below where you can subscribe to this kit. And by the way, everyone who subscribes through me receives a paper pumpkin sleeve, which I have an old one here, with a way to store your stamps, and you also get a 1-inch coordinating square for your spot, so you can store them upside down so the ink will always be on top. So if you are new to my channel, I would really appreciate if you would hit the subscribe button below, and if you would like notifications of when I post a new video, tap on the bell button to receive notifications. To those of you who are already subscribed, thank you so much for your subscription, and I hope you find some inspiration of alternate ways to use your kit. So my first set of alternates, I used this plain base right here, and it was blue, and I thought it would make a great gift tag because when it's folded on the inside it's white, and that's what I did. So I measured, which I know these are 5.5, so I divided that by 3. So each one needs to be a little under 2 inches. So I cut one at like 1 7/8 and or 1 8/16 till I got 3. You could just do 175 on all of them, and as you can see, this uses the whole card to get 3. So you have 3 of these bases. You could do 9 if you prefer. I'm going to hold off and see in case I come up with something else. But this was my gift tag for this card, or for this third of the card front. Like I said, I like it because it's already together. I don't have to do anything. So what I did was I stamped all along in the Bermuda Bay ink. So I don't think you need to see me stamp. And then I thought of different ways to decorate the edge. So one of the easiest ways, or they're all pretty easy, if you have a decorative sort of end punch, this is the Label Me Lovely punch, and I can't stick this one in, and I'm not going to punch, but I'm going to show you what you would do. So you would stick this, I always forget which way to go. That's not right. Okay, there's an easier, oh, there you go. You push it in through the bottom, you pull it up, okay, and then you want to get it sort of centered, and then you would just punch down, and that would give you your decorative edge. So you can do that with any punch that you may have on hand. That's how I got this bottom, okay. And then another thing I have a old retired trio punch. This makes a slit, a decorative corner, and another decorative corner. I do not have the new one. There is a brand new one in the mini catalog that I believe also has this slit in it. Let me see if I can find it real quick for you. It's easiest to go in the back. This is the Stampin' Up! Mini 20, I call it the holiday catalog, but now it's just called the July through December 2022. And so it's called the Very Best Trio, and this is on page 82 of the catalog. And as you can see, it shows you Now it says page 68. Let's see if it has a bigger image. It does a little bit. So it makes a slit, looks like just a 45-degree angle, and then a cute little decorative edge. So the only thing I will give you a tip on, I think is if you do this other edge, you're going to want to flip the edge. So let me get a piece of scrap paper. I have lots of these in my drawer because when I cut my card fronts, I always end up with a little extra strip that I keep because they make great labels. Alright, so this is going to be a wide tag, but it'll kind of show you. So with this punch and the new punch, you don't want to press on the corner. You might think you do, but you just want to press straight down. Well, I think it's squared. Okay, so now when you do your next corner, you wouldn't want to put it in like this because it wouldn't be symmetrical. You want to flip it and then stick it in. So it goes in the same direction. Okay, so that gives you a symmetrical decorative corner. So you would do that on the new punch as well. So just keep that in mind if you get the new punch and want to do that. So I thought I did use this corner for this card. You don't have to flip that one, I don't think. I think it's pretty symmetrical, and I did it through both layers. If you didn't want to, you don't have to do it through both, and it would just have a nice white backing there. Other ways you can make a decorative end are with your dies. So for this one, I used my scallop contour dies. I love these dies. And all I did for that was I stuck it in like this, and then I ran it through my Big Shot, just this end. So it would cut off the end. Okay, I didn't run it all the way through because it would leave a bump on this card front. And there's many dies around these days that would go well with that. Another straight one was from the Pinned Flowers. Could have used that here. It's just a straight border die. Okay, so that's some many different ways you can create a decorative die. So all I did was use this to punch the hole. And then I have a decorated Santa, which I've already colored. So I colored this with Cherry Cobbler blends. I believe this is the light. And a light crumb cake for his face. And then I added the pink with some Flirty Flamingo. Now, if you don't have these blends, you could use the watercolor pencils and just be very light with the Early Espresso. There's not a crumb cake in the kit. So, I mean, just barely put some on and then use your blender pen to blend it around. And Cherry Cobbler, I didn't worry about the shading. I just did that. So, I would want to put this up on dimensionals to get my little stash out. I store all my stuff in these old clamshell boxes. I've been around Stampin' Up! A long time, and back when you had to actually cut your stamps, that was fun, especially since I first started off with alphabet stamps. That was a fun chore, cutting those apart. Okay, so I just put some around there. And I'm going to put my Santa on. Okay, and then for the inside, on this one I already found an old to and from that I had. You could always write it, but I did look back in my stash, and back in November of 2019 we have a to from, and I won't be surprised if in the November kit, since it's intended for gift tags, if it also has a to from. So if you want to stamp that later, you can go ahead. But let me show you my ho ho ho. Guess I took that out of the camera. The ho ho ho. So as part of my add-on kit that some of you will decide to get, I have pre-cut a whole bunch of shadow things for the ho ho ho. Now I can't sell pre-stamped items, but I can include these in my add-on kit, which I will have a price once I'm done with all my alternates. That will include these shadows, some shadows that you can stamp more Santas, etc. So I think that's clean. Let me get my chamois and just make sure I haven't used another color on it. Let it dry a second. And then I'm going to use, this is my nasty chamois box. It just looks nasty. It's clean. Okay, and then I'm going to ink this up really, really well. So the tip for if you do get this kit, you will have a negative space just like I have here. And I would tell you put it anywhere you want. Stamp it on your deluxe mat and then take this shadow image and center it over it. Let's see if I ink that up well. You just let it sit for a second to soak up some ink. And I cut these with my brother Scan and Cut, so I hope it's still in the center. Let's see. That's pretty good. Now, here's a tip. Don't quite like mine, but I have the markers. I could either stick it back in there and try to restamp it, but when it's this little of a item, I fill in with my markers that I have. So again, you would stamp this on your deluxe mat, center this around it, and then stamp another ho ho ho, which I should have a slew of them. Here's another. So I stick that in the page up there. It could have been my magnet. I might need to move my magnet because I thought I inked it up pretty well. Okay. And press. Again, you don't have to like smash really hard. You just want to make sure your platform sits flat and that you give enough pressure to the ink to soak in. Okay, that one did better. There's a little bit on the O's. So I'm going to ink that side up a little bit and do it again. Okay, much better, more solid. There we go. And I think I've shared before, but I live in Texas, which can be very warm, fans going, etc. So I keep a paper towel on top of my the chamois so that it doesn't dry out quite as fast. So I use it like that. And then since I came up with that idea, I keep thinking to get a brand new one. That way it wouldn't look icky like this one looks, but it's clean, well loved. This is a great way to clean your stamps. So that's how I got my ho ho ho. Let me close this and put it away. And we'll just add that to the top. With dimensionals, of course. Y'all know I love dimensionals if you've seen any of my other alternates. Just think it really gives it dimension, and which why they're called dimensionals. It just makes it look a whole lot more handmade. Okay, and then I'm going to angle that. And then you just add some ribbon, and there you go. And just be careful when you're tightening your ribbon. You don't tighten it too hard, or you might tear your hole. Another thing I've seen done is tie this together with a bit of twine to keep it tight. But that's how I created these ribbons, or these tags. So again, you can get 3 from one of your card bases in the kit right here. And I thought it makes some nice gift tags. So that is my first alternate to share with you today. My second alternate, I used crumb cake. Now you do have a crumb cake card base in here. I didn't use it. I used a solid piece of crumb cake that I have in my stash. And then I used a new die set that slipped by me that I didn't notice. It's called the Mini Pocket Envelope Dies. And it has this real cute die that makes this pocket. So let me get all my goodies out. So I'm going to show you that from this die, you can get 4 out of 1 piece of crumb cake. So that's a good size. It also holds a gift card, the old gift card. It sits in there nicely, and it still shows your decoration up here. So like I said, this was a new die set that slipped by me, and I wanted to use it since I added it to my stash. This shows how I got 2 and still had a nice strip here if you just cut it in half to go through your die cut and emboss machine. Okay, so how I made this was I cut the piece out of crumb cake, okay, and then I went ahead and did the stamping, so you didn't have to see me stamp stars for 5 minutes. And so this is what you're left with. So after you stamp, you want to burnish all the score lines with your bone folder, and you want to do them pretty good, especially the bottoms that will glue in. Now out of cardstock, that line is, it's there, a score line's there. You just have to be careful when you fold it that you actually get it square. So take your time to get it right on the score line. Okay, and then you want to use either tear and tape or the mono multi-purpose glue that I have in a fine tip glue bottle. So actually, before I do that, I need to decorate it. I got ahead of myself. So let me show you what I did to conserve on the paper. So this is the envelope in your kit, and it has a nice little slim crumb cake stripe on the inside. So I cut off just the flap here, and then I used my die, and I lined it up just below where I wouldn't get any gummy, and where you would, like, let me get in the center, lick your envelope. Okay, and I cut this piece out. About to get a scratchy throat again. Excuse me for just a second. Okay, so then I had that piece. And don't worry about here. It's going to be a little crooked. See where it cut? And I'm just going to square that off with my paper snips. Okay, let's see if that's square. Square enough. It just needs to fit inside. So then I'm going to glue this down first. And again, you don't need to do a whole piece because you can't see that far down into the envelope to know that it's not fully covered. So that helps you save on your materials that come in your kit. And you can get 2 out of the flap of your envelope. I've already made 2, and I forgot I needed to make one for my video. Okay, so there you go. Now I'm going to try to do this. I would do it with tear and tape. I'm going to try to do it with my Tombow glue. Any one of those would be very strong. The reason I'm kind of liking the glue is if I don't get it square, it might be floppy jaw, whereas with the glue, it gives it some slide before it totally is stuck. And I know that the multi-purpose glue will dry very strong. So there you have that. So the next thing I did was I used my Stamparatus, just like I did the ho-ho-hos earlier, to stamp my Marys. I have, that's a ho-ho-ho. So I wanted Merry, Merry Christmas on this one. And my Christmas disappeared. I thought I was doing so good having everything ready. All right, probably here in my dump of stuff outside. Okay, but you get the idea. I put these on with dimensionals, and then I did glue the Mary flat, and I added some ribbon here for decoration. And when you stamp your cardstock beforehand, your snowflakes carry on right to the other side. So I liked that aspect of it. And I think the crumb cake and cherry cobbler are really classic, and I really like how the combination goes together. So that's another alternate. Now, you're like, okay, Robin, I don't have that die, but I would really like a gift card. So I have a solution for you. One is to get my add-on kit, and then I can pre-cut some of these for you. I can't do any stamping. But a second option is just take your cardstock, okay? And this is, I believe, 1/4 of a sheet. You could use your envelope again, your card that came in the kit. Let me zoom out just a tad. Okay, so this is 5.5 by 4 1/4. So it is 1/4 of a sheet. So you can make 4 from one sheet. And from that, I made this gift card holder. Okay, so I wanted to round the corners of the flap. You can do that by hand, but I have an old, no, I love to keep my stuff because you never know when you're going to use it again. So I don't get rid of classic stuff. All right, so then, oh, I didn't show you. You want to score this at 2 inches and 4.5 inches. I had a little post-it note with that on there, but we can just make sure. Yeah, score at 2 and 4.5 is where you want to score this piece of paper. Okay, and you want to do it on the longest side. So score down, and then I'm going to burnish my corners. Okay, and then all you got to do is glue your sides together. Okay, so that makes a nice gift card. And I also did a notch here with my label, Me Lovely. So you'll want to do that before you glue it down. And again, if you want to be exact, you can mark the center with a pencil or a pen, because that's going to come off anyway. So the center of 4 1/4 is 2 1/8 inches. And this punch actually has a line that I can kind of center that up with. And you can decide how deep you want it, whether you want it really deep or just a little bit. I'm going to do this one just a little bit and try to line it up with that first scallop. Okay, so then you have a cute little notch that they will get their, you put it against white, peak of their gift card. So again, you can use either tear and tape or your Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue. Just put a fine strip along the edge and glue it tight. Now on the front of this, I put a Santa and the ho ho ho. And then for either of these, because you are giving a gift, I like for them to have something to actually open. So I like to include an envelope, which was just a note card size envelope. Excuse me. Somewhere in my packets, which I have misplaced. Maybe right here. Here it is. So I just put some more snowflakes on a little envelope, and either one of these will fit in nicely, so they actually have something to open up and not just this. But since I was making this ahead of time, I did put some temporary adhesive dots here, and I still have the backing, so that once I have a gift card to give to someone, I can tear these off and then close it, and it'll stay shut, and then put it in an envelope with their name on it, so they actually have something to open. You could go further and even put this envelope in a little box, maybe even your paper pumpkin box, and then they would have gift wrap to open as well. So These are my alternates with the crumb cake. All right, and sorry I lost, I bet you there's my Mary, or Christmas. There it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this since I found it so I don't lose it again. So I just glued this down flat, the Christmas, and then of course I did my Marys with dimensionals. All these little pieces disappear on me. So, and as you can see, I cut my dimensionals in half. We received the regular size dimensionals this time, so a half is plenty. I put about 3 on this just because I want it to be nice and sturdy. And I need to cut some more. I have some I just go up the center like that. And some will be smaller than others. Okay, take the backings off. And let me eyeball about where, let me go ahead and take both off. That way I can eyeball and stick them down. Is that hard to see on my brown table? I don't think so. Okay, Mary. Mary. Now, if you wanted to, I think what would be very pretty is you could get your snowflakes that came in the kit and stick them behind this Mary Mary, which I think I want him down a little bit more. If you catch it quick, you can move your dimensionals before they totally bond to your cardstock. All right, so I really like these. Oh, I didn't punch my slit. I would use this punch or the new trio punch that's in the catalog. And then I will add ribbon to that. Let me show you some I've been working on with designer series paper, just so you can see how cute this die is. So I put them all in little sleeves, but here is one. This is a good way I thought I could use some of my retired cards, designer series paper. This uses the new Leaves of Holly set. I really liked that one. Okay, some more. So anyway, I just used some material that I had on hand to make these gift card holders. And like I said, I included a decorated envelope with those, which, you know, on this envelope, I put some here. I could go back and put some snowflakes there, so it's a little more decorated. So that's those alternates. And put everything back in here. And then I have one more, I have a card actually to show you that I'm not going to recreate because I don't want to use all my pretty red envelope. But this uses the Picture This Dies. I thought it was kind of cute, a cute card. And I thought some of you might enjoy this card. I cut the peekaboo and then I put some of the envelope paper behind this. And whoops, I didn't glue him down good, did I? I measured how much I would need so I didn't have to use a full card front size. And then he's just on a glue dot. I must not have stuck him down well. I did the ho ho ho. I took my blending brush and made some Night of Navy background sky for the Santa and his reindeer flying into the sky. And then I just popped Santa out of this last one and I put a dimensional for his hat to stand up. And then I had some little bitty snowflake dies that I use. And I believe those are from the Chick dies. Let me see if I have them here. Yes. So it has several snowflake sizes, which is, I liked it because it's kind of all season, summer, winter, fall. And I use this little bitty die down here for that. I'm not sure what size comes in our kits. There may be one that would fit. Now I stuck him down crooked. Okay, so that's just a cute card I decided to share with you in case you like this style of card. All right, so that's it for me today. I hope you've had some inspiration today and enjoyed these cards. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you are not already subscribed, and ring the bell for notifications of when I post a new video. And I have lots of Santas already stamped and cut for future projects. And until the next time, thanks for watching today. Have a great day.